10 years of experience, 3 companies, multiple promotions, a long list of responsibilities, and still no interviews. That's the part nobody prepares you for, because we're taught that experience makes job searching easier. So when you've done the work, built the career, and employers still aren't calling, you start asking a very uncomfortable question. If my experience isn't enough, what is? Today, we're opening case file number 006. Because the evidence suggests experience may not be as valuable as we've been taught. Or, more accurately, experience that employers can't interpret isn't valuable. Yet. Let's investigate. The case. Let's call him Marcus. Marcus had 11 years of experience. Not 11 months. 11 years. He'd worked his way from a junior role into management, led teams, handled major clients, managed projects, solved problems. On paper, Marcus should have been competitive. And he knew it. So when his job search started, he wasn't expecting instant success. But he was expecting something. An interview. A recruiter call. Maybe even a polite rejection. Instead, silence. After 3 months, Marcus said something I've heard from experienced professionals before. I don't understand. I've done everything they're asking for. And technically, he was right. The experience was there. So why weren't employers seeing it? We open the file. Evidence A, the Responsibility Archive. Marcus's CV was impressive. At least, it looked impressive. His experience section was full. Very full. Under his latest position, it said, responsible for managing a team of 12 employees. Responsible for client relationships. Responsible for operational reporting. Responsible for project delivery. Responsible for stakeholder communication. No, there's nothing technically wrong with those statements. But I want you to notice something. They tell us what Marcus was assigned. They don't tell us what Marcus changed. And those are 2 completely different things. A job description explains the role. Evidence explains the person. Marcus had spent 11 years building experience, then described himself like a job advert. Evidence B, the experience illusion. Here's where this case becomes interesting. We tend to think experience works like points in a video game. 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. The number gets bigger, so your value automatically increases. But employers don't experience your career chronologically. They experience it through the evidence you present. Imagine 2 candidates. Candidate A has 10 years of experience. Their CV says, managed client accounts and maintained stakeholder relationships. Candidate B has 4 years of experience. Their CV says, retained 94% of a high-value client portfolio while expanding 3 strategic accounts. Who feels more experienced? Not who is more experienced. Who feels more experienced? That's the problem. Years are a measurement of time. They are not automatically a measurement of impact. Evidence C. The curse of familiarity. Then we found something even more subtle. Marcus had done his job for so long, he'd stopped noticing what was impressive about it. Solving a major client problem. That's just part of the job. Training new employees? Everyone helps with that. Improving a reporting process? It wasn't a big deal. Managing a difficult project? That's what I was paid to do. Interesting. Because the things Marcus dismissed as ordinary were exactly the things employers needed evidence of. This is what I call the curse of familiarity. When you've done something long enough, it stops feeling valuable to you. But familiar doesn't mean worthless. It simply means you've forgotten what it looks like to someone who can't do it yet. Evidence question. I want you to think about your own career for a moment. What do you do well that you've stopped considering impressive because it feels normal to you? Don't answer quickly. Think about it. Because your answer might be hiding some of the strongest evidence in your career. The second file. At this point, we did something simple. We put Marcus's CV aside. And instead of asking, "What were your responsibilities?" we asked, "What became better because you were there?" The conversation changed immediately. He'd reduced project delays. Interesting. How? He introduced a new tracking process. He'd retained a difficult client. Why were they difficult? They were considering leaving. What happened? Marcus rebuilt the relationship. He'd trained team members. What happened afterwards? 2 were promoted. Wait. Where was any of this on the CV? It wasn't. 11 years of experience. And the strongest evidence had never entered the file. The breakthrough. Marcus didn't need more experience. He needed to translate his experience into value. So we started rebuilding the story. Not managed a team of 12, but led a 12-person team through a process restructure that reduced project delays. Not maintained client relationships, but rebuilt a high-risk client relationship and retained the account. Not trained junior employees, but mentored junior team members, including 2 who progressed into senior roles. Same career. Same person. Same 11 years. Different evidence. And suddenly, the experience became visible. Diagnosis. Here's the official diagnosis. Marcus didn't have an experience problem. He had an evidence translation problem. His career contained value, but his CV documented activity. And activity is not the same as impact. This is why experienced professionals can sometimes struggle more than they expect. The longer your career becomes, the easier it is to assume your job titles will speak for you. Manager, Director, Senior Consultant, Head of Operations. But titles create assumptions. Evidence creates conviction. Employers still need to understand one thing. What happens when you are responsible for something? Does it grow? Improve? Recover? Move faster? Become more profitable? Become less chaotic? What changes? That's your evidence. Case evidence snapshot. So this is the case evidence snapshot. Case file number 006. 1. Responsibilities explain the role, not the candidate. 2. Years measure time. Evidence demonstrates impact. 3. Familiar skills are often undervalued by the person who owns them. Now that we've reviewed the evidence, let's submit our official finding. Official case finding. Experience does not speak for itself. If employers have to guess your impact, your strongest evidence may remain invisible. Viewer investigation. Let's open the evidence locker. I want you to finish one sentence in the comments. Because I was there, blank improved. That's it. Maybe sales improved. A process improved. Customer satisfaction improved. Communication improved. A team improved. A project improved. Don't write your job description. Give us the evidence. I'll be reading the entries. And I suspect some of you are about to discover achievements you've been overlooking for years. Next investigation. But there's another type of evidence that can quietly damage a candidate. Sometimes you look qualified. Your experience is relevant. Your CV is strong. And yet, something in the way you're presenting yourself makes employers hesitate. Not because you look inexperienced. Because you accidentally look unqualified. In case file number 007, we're investigating the hidden mistake that makes you look unqualified. And the strange thing? Many candidates make it while trying to look more impressive. That file is next. Continue today's investigation with Evidence Brief 001, the 15-minute CV fix. If your experience is buried beneath responsibilities, vague language, or weak positioning, this is a good place to start. You'll find the evidence brief linked in the description below. And if today's investigation helped you see your career differently, like the video and subscribe to CareerHack. Season 1 of the hiring files is still open. We have more evidence to examine, more assumptions to challenge, and more cases to investigate. Because here at CareerHack, we reverse engineer why careers succeed or fail.